Ladies and gentlemen, you want to hear something important? Here is something important. We have been free from a 25% or more correction on Bitcoin for the longest period in time that we have since 2011. That is being free of a major correction on Bitcoin for the longest period of time in 12 years. Bitcoin has been on an absolute rampage to the upside, and now as we approach a potential rejection zone with the monthly candle close in 5 days, we have to ask, will it continue? And if it doesn't continue, if we do close that monthly candle below 42K, where will we go next? Ladies and gentlemen, let's get into it. First and foremost, I hope that everyone had a good Christmas. If you don't celebrate Christmas, I hope you had a good day regardless. We're back into the Bitcoin content here, and we've got the most pressing question for the rest of 2023 that we can ask. Now, there's only 5 days left in 2023, but we've seen something quite unique, okay? And this is in regards to whether we'll see a long-term pullback or whether we'll just continue to the upside. I did a post on the YouTube community page the other day, and I'm going to read it out to you right now. We have, first and foremost, a 50-50 split between people saying we're going to close above 42K this year or close below 42K this year. That's interesting. We'll look at that in a second. 50-50 split, which is pretty much insane, right? Then we have, so the market's perfectly divided. We then have a situation in which it's been 232 days until Bitcoin saw a drawdown of more than 25%. The last time we went this long without a drawdown of that side was 2011, 12 years ago. So Bitcoin, definitively is on an absolute rampage. Whether you want to admit it or not, whether you think it's real or not, that's the fact of the matter. The fact of the matter is we have been on a rampage to the upside without any real correction for 232 days without a 25% drawdown. And more specifically, right, if we're being daily chart, if we're looking at daily chart, we've been on a rampage to the upside without any sort of correction whatsoever, whether it be medium term, short term, long term, nothing, for 80%, a 79% move to the upside. It's been about 106 days. No correction in 106 days, over 3 months, with an 80% move to the upside. Absolutely insane. And that came just after basically ranging sideways for 7 or 8 months and doing not really too much. No corrections there, just ranging sideways in the macro range and then another explosion to the upside. So the entirety of 2023 has just been bloody exceptional for Bitcoin. Seriously, it's been exceptional. We've seen a leg to the upside, range to the sideways for a little bit, and another leg to the upside. That's been the entire year. That's exceptional. So now we're in a situation in which we're like, okay, well, Bitcoin's a little bit exhausted. And if you don't think Bitcoin's exhausted, you're not looking at the charts. The fact of the matter is, Bitcoin is exhausted. This entire move has been led on exhaustion. And this entire rally in itself has been driven by ETFs. This is where we went on the post and we said that most methods of TA are begging for a pullback, but yet every correction is bought up. Why? ETFs. The ETF narrative has made people massively reluctant to sell Bitcoin and been an absolute plague to the Bitcoin technical analysis. Every analyst I know is over it, okay? This type of non-corrective price action will not last much longer. Do not get used to it. And this is what I really want to get to. You cannot get used to this level of insane price action at this point in the cycle, right? 2023 has been absolutely insane. We've moved to the upside continuously over and over again. And even with these moves to the upside, we have not deviated too far from the cyclical theory. This snapshot on the screen shows us where Bitcoin is in this cycle in relation to the other cycles. And as you can see, we're a little bit deviated to the upside, but we're not too dramatically deviated, okay? We can just see a little correction or move sideways for a little while, and we'll be right back on track with what happened in the previous cycles. You can see that we deviated to the upside as well in 2019, and it didn't affect the cyclical structure. We still followed the cycle quite well. So yeah, there's a deviation to the upside right now, and we kind of are begging for a little bit of a pullback, begging for a little bit of consolidation to bring us back to the mean. And this is where we get into what we need to discuss in this video. Well, first and foremost, why have we had this rampage to the upside? As we mentioned, ETFs. There's been no consistent selling pressure on Bitcoin throughout basically most of the year, specifically since September, because people have been consistently over and over again waiting for that ETF decision. And as you guys know, it's been delayed over and over and over again for over 6 months now. And so people are just holding onto their Bitcoin. They're not selling. None of these drops have any momentum to the downside. We have seen so many situations on Bitcoin, and I mean this quite literally. So many situations where we should have gone down, right? We actually predicted a breakout here at 38.5K. But we did hindsight analysis. We said that's an ascending wedge formation, right? That's an ascending wedge formation. Not only that, an ascending wedge formation with bearish divergence on the RSI with descending volume. So even though we predicted the breakout, even though we were correct, we still looked at that situation, we're like, okay, this is a little bit dodgy. That probably shouldn't have happened. The same situation can be said about why we've been just lurking in this upper region, just in between two macro ranges. We've been lurking between 38.5k and 48k, just in this random zone at 44k for no apparent reason. And the reason is, it's a fundamental reason. The reason is no one's willing to sell. No one is willing to sell into corrections. People are buying up every dip because they're waiting for the ETF decision. So realistically, Bitcoin's exhausted. Realistically, Bitcoin should go down. But as I said, the ETF decision has been a plague on Bitcoin. People are just waiting. They're not trusting the charts. They're just waiting. And so we get into a situation now where we look at the monthly chart and we look at the importance of the monthly chart. I've always said, throughout the entirety of December, I've said, this monthly candle close is the most important thing Bitcoin will do for at least a few months. We look at the Ichimoku Cloud baseline, okay? The Ichimoku Cloud baseline, the red line on the screen right now. We look at how it's divided Bitcoin in the past. It's been the dividing line between bull markets and bear markets over and over again. When we've lost this line, we haven't gotten back above it for months. When we've broken this line to the upside, we haven't got back down below it for months. This represents a trend. We get above this line, we enter an upwards trend, right? We reject this line, we enter a downwards trend. What you can see is that as of right now, this line sits at 42k. In fact, it sits at 42.2k. And so if we are to close this monthly candle above this line, we will most likely be following what we did in prior cycles, where we see rallies to the upside, perhaps the start of the bull market, perhaps that bull market starts too early, you know what I mean, in regards to cyclical theory. But the fact of the matter is, it's been a very, very bullish thing when we've gotten above it in the past. We also know in the past that when we've rejected from this line, for example, in 2019, during the same part of the cycle we're in now, pre-halving, we rejected from that line and we saw correction due to that. And that knocked us back down to where we needed to be, right, before the halving. And then at the halving, we saw the move to the upside, right? As I said before, 2019 was a period in time where we deviated a bit too high, as we just looked at that chart on the screen before. In fact, we'll bring it back up now. As you can see, we deviated a little bit too high, a bit far away from where we needed to be. We saw that rejection from the Ichimoku Cloud baseline. We saw a few months of correction, and we got right back on track. Now, this time, again, we're a little bit too high from where we need to be, and we're testing the Ichimoku Cloud baseline. It would make a lot of sense. In fact, it would be what we want to see. Okay, I want to see this because I believe in cyclical theory. I believe that the cyclical theory gives us the most guidance on Bitcoin, and I believe it would be the best possible thing for us to follow the cyclical theory in every single regard. Now, knowing that at the same part of the cycle we are in now, which was 2019, we rejected from this level to get back on track to where we were meant to be, I would like to see that again. I would like to see Bitcoin close this monthly candle below 42k, reject downwards for a few months, wait till the halving, and then go upwards and start a bull market. Now, just because I'd like to see it, it doesn't mean it will happen. And this is where we get into the problem. The problem is ETFs, as we discussed in the daily chart, the ETF decision, which thank God is finishing on the 10th of January. We'll see a approval or denial, probably an approval on the 10th of January. Thank the Lord. That is going to be over soon. Within 2 weeks, we'll see that ETF plague be lifted off Bitcoin TA. So, I can't really sit here and give you a concrete prediction about what I think Bitcoin will do in regards to the monthly candle close. I can't. Because the cyclical theory, the cyclical trends, what's happened in the last cycle suggest, and every metric of TA, by the way, on the daily chart, etc., suggests that Bitcoin is exhausted and suggests that Bitcoin should close below 42k. That is what I'd like to see. But I also know that TA is not particularly reliable right now in medium-term TA. I also know that Bitcoin is just on a rampage and it refuses to go down. So I know that, of course, there's a chance we could just close above it. We'll have to wait and see. The point I'm trying to make is this. Bitcoin is closing that monthly candle in 5 days. So in 5 days, we will see the most important close we've seen on Bitcoin potentially for many, many months. I'm talking 3, 4, 5, 6 months, right? Very important monthly candle close. Incredibly important monthly candle close. So we'll have to see what happens. Now, if we are to see a correction on Bitcoin, it's what I want to see. If we are to see a correction on Bitcoin, where would we go in that correction? I'm thinking if we saw a considerable medium-term correction on Bitcoin, we would go downwards at the very, very least and retest 38.5k, potentially go even further down than that and retest things like 34k or even something like 32,000 on Bitcoin. I think that would be a reasonable correction for this part of the cycle on par with what we did in 2019, but at the very, very least, we'd be retesting the support zone at 38.5k. That is our nearest macro support range. I also believe, as I said, 32k is on the table, and the reason being is because I'm looking at this weekly chart RSI line. I'm looking at what we've done previously. I'm looking at the fact that previously, in the last 2 cycles, we have seen a pre-halving correction, and that pre-halving correction has been triggered by a breakdown of this yellow weekly chart line. I suspect that this weekly chart line will not be tested until something like 38.5k, and won't be broken down below till we break that. So perhaps we'd go to something like 32. You know, who knows? It's very hard to say, but I think there should be a lot of emphasis put on this 32 on this yellow weekly chart line on the RSI, just like what there was in the last 2 cycles. And obviously losing that line led to the correction in the last 2 cycles. So we need to be watching that line very closely, specifically if we get a monthly candle close below 42k. But ultimately, you know, looking at, again, I can look at short-term TA, medium-term TA all day. I don't think it's really relevant because obviously, as I said, TA is not particularly working out too well right now. And as I said before, you know, people are going to call me slippery or call me, I guess, to an extent fraudulent for not making any bold predictions in the monthly candle close. I want to remind you that my community is split 50-50. The market itself is split 50-50. For me to take an opinion on it is ridiculous. This is where we get into what really matters here. Predictions don't make you money. Clicking the buy and sell button makes you money. I want to make that very, very clear. I can predict things all day. It doesn't make me any money. What matters is my reaction, is my buy and sell. I know what I'm going to be doing if Bitcoin closes the monthly candle below 42k. I know what I'm going to be doing if Bitcoin closes it above 42k. All right? That's the reality. It doesn't matter what I think. I know what I will be doing, and that's what makes me the money. I'm pointing out the importance of that level. I'm pointing out the fact that if TA is to be trusted, we should go down below 42k. And if we do go down below 42k, we do close below that level, we will be looking at this RSI line in the weekly chart as major importance, right? That's where we'll be looking for a buy or a correction below it. We'll have to see, but the fact of the matter is that's very important, right? Also things, as I said, like the major support zones, 38.5k, 32k, those are very, very important support zones. This yellow support line, that's a very important support zone. All of this information is more important than vague predictions about what might happen when we know for a fact that TA hasn't been working well throughout the last 6 months, ever since this ETF started, but specifically in the last 2 months, because I mean, it's really just been going on a rampage. But right now, what do we have on Bitcoin? Double top formation, right? Double top formation, massive uptrend with no correction whatsoever. Massive exhaustion on the RSI, massive exhaustion on volume, right? That's what we have, okay? So the reality is Bitcoin's exhausted. Now, whether it acts on that exhaustion before the January 1st date or after it is what matters. I'm telling you right now, if Bitcoin closes this monthly candle above 42k, I probably won't be buying Bitcoin. I will be waiting for that ETF decision because I believe that once the burden of this ETF decision has been removed from looming over Bitcoin, I believe there's a very good chance for TA will eventually play out and we will see what we need to see as per the TA. Okay, I believe that Bitcoin is being held up right now by a fragile narrative. And when that narrative is confirmed or broken, reality will return, the logic will return to the market, I should say, and eventually logic will catch up to the market, right? That's the reality. So no, I don't think I'd be buying Bitcoin if we were to close the monthly candle above 42k. I'd be waiting for the ETF result, for sure, because I do know as well the ETF result is not confirmed to be bullish in the short term, not even slightly. This could very well be a sell the news event, right? Everyone who has been refusing to sell for the last basically 6 or 7 months might actually sell when that event occurs. Okay, that's a very, very important possibility people need to consider very strongly. So overall, I don't want to spend too much time yabbering on. I will look at the Bitcoin dominance chart soon. We have seen a breakdown from an ascending wedge formation on the Bitcoin dominance chart, which has been the reason why altcoins have been rallying over this period of time. We could see that breakdown continue to the downside. We could see altcoins continue to rally for a period of time, just like what we saw in the pre-halving periods of the market in 2015, and also over here in 2019. And then at the halving, essentially, we will see Bitcoin dominance continue to drop. But, you know, between the halving and around the end of next year, we should see it rise again, and then when the bull market really kicks off, when we reach all-time highs on Bitcoin, that's when it'll start dropping. But I don't think that Bitcoin dominance on a long-term scale has reached its all-time high, or it reached the cyclical high. I believe we do have to go higher. This is just a little bump in the road, and we're seeing some joy on altcoins as per that, I suppose. So guys, with that said, most important monthly candle close that will basically be very definitive for Bitcoin, very important for Bitcoin, will be happening in 5 days. We have to keep looking at that over and over again, and we will do so. Stay updated on this channel. We'll look at short-term updates. We'll look at the possibilities of that monthly candle close, whether it be up or down over the coming days as we get more and more data coming in, as we get closer and closer to the date. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please check out the Telegram group. We have a VIP sale on Telegram right now, as you can see. End of year sale, very short period of time there. It finishes in January 1st, and you can check out the VIP results and information in the Telegram group in the description below for free. 80.5% win rate. Become part of that group there. Get access to the sale. It's the best time to do it. We've then got 2 exchanges. if you need an exchange to buy and sell cryptocurrency, whether it be futures or spot, this is the place you can do it. You can do it on the Bitget exchange, or you can do it on the Bingx exchange. Now, Bingx is global non-KYC, and Bitget is global KYC. It's not loading on the screen right now for some reason, but it is there. So Bingx and Bitget, both very low in trading fees, both never been hacked before, both have extensive protection funds in case they are hacked. So great exchanges there, 15% trading fee discount with my referral link down below, and exclusive rewards for joining with my Wolves Crypto referral link. Go ahead and do that, description below. And then we have the Crypto Academy Become Trader course. If you want to become a trader, as per the name of this course, you want to learn how to trade, you want to learn how to chart, you want to learn how to trade the markets, you want to learn how to find trades, this is the place you can learn all of that just before the bull run. So really is the best time to get in this course and get educated before the bull market, because maximum potential is coming to the market very shortly. I recommend doing this now if you're interested. Obviously, there's many ways to learn how to trade. This is just one of them, and this is a university-style course that gives you everything you need to know, with the email address on the website, the contact details, and the website link down below. Guys, again, Bingx, Bitget if you need an exchange, Crypto Academy if you want to learn how to trade, and VIP group if you want to trade with me on Telegram. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you tomorrow.